So on this 33rd day of the Trump administration, he visited, was this, the African National Museum of African American History and Culture, and talked about the increase in vandalism and bombing of Jewish community centers around the U.S. And is quoted as saying, "The anti-Semitic threats targeting our Jewish community and community centers are horrible and painful, and a very sad reminder of the work that still must be done to root out hate and prejudice and evil." Now, in reading that, I'm reminded of the continuous allegations of racism that plagued his presidential campaign, have plagued him since he took office. And I guess I'm just so either naive or stupid that I can't seem to understand or put two and two together on, if he were so racist and also so uncharismatic about what's going on, why would he take the time to address it? My whole argument for why I believe Obama, for example, didn't care about the Chicago killings of African Americans by other African Americans was that he refused to address it. He pretended as if it did not exist, and he usually only commented on when some young or, just in general black person was killed by a cop, which is not the majority of the time when it comes to black homicides and deaths. Now, again, I mentioned that to sort of bring to you this comparison. It is all right for one president to ignore a bigoted issue or an issue that specifically has to do with one race, the killings of people of that race or their discrimination in general. But if the other one addresses it, which is what Trump did today with the Jews, they're going to be rebuked. They're going to be called, just pandering, trying to seem as if they care. Now, it really befuddles me and it behooves me that you can have all of these Democrats run for these offices. In my state of California, you have Kamala Harris as the senator now. You've had Feinstein, the senator, for decades. A couple years before I was born, actually, she took that job. And why is it that you can never say anything about them that is partially negative or, just calling it as it is about their lack of concern for minorities and other races, at least on the scale of actually trying to do something for them? You call Harris or Feinstein, good luck reaching them. You call the Congress people, good luck reaching them. You don't get any type of assistance from these politicians, but there's a commonality between all of the ones that I have that represent me. We're talking about my congresswoman who's representing my district, my senator. They have a distinct pattern. They get in office, and since they've been in office, at least this year, all they've done is go on Twitter and talk smack about Trump. Now ask yourself this: what is them writing a little paragraph or sentence about how bad the incumbent president of the U.S. Is going to do for me and other people living in California? What does that do? Not a single thing, so why do it? Well, because they figure that this will boost their standing in the party. They'll look like a loyal Democrat. But remember, that's at the cost of doing anything for your constituents. A state with 39 million people doesn't need um, two senators that are going to spend all day talking about the same man over and over again for 8 years or 4 years, however long he's in there, or less, from the way St. Huger predicted it, a year and a half. It makes no sense to me. Now, this, was not meant to get wildly off topic, but I'm using that as an example to illustrate the fact that if you say Trump does not care about minorities or about keeping them in any type of livable capacity, the same argument can be applied to every single one of these Democrats contemporary. You know, you had the days of LBJ and the Kennedy brothers, and that's over. It's gone. You know, once the Clintons got in there, they bamboozled a lot of African Americans into voting for them and liking them and being supportive of them, when there really was nothing on their part that actually would suggest their willingness to be complicit with trying to solve issues for African Americans. And it's even more amazing to me because Trump has also, been accused of tokenism in his own administration, with only having one black person, Carson, as his what was that? He was some secretary, but it amazes me because I think about Obama's administration, and he only had two blacks at the start. It was Holder and another guy. The other guy left. I forgot his name, but Holder got out of there, and they replaced him with another black person. So basically, if you discount the other guy, at the end of Obama's administration, there was only one black person besides him. So that's two members of his cabinet are black. And technically, if you want to, just say forget the presidency, it's one person, the same number that Trump has. And this is your black president who cares so much about you, but won't put any of you in his administration. For what? Fear of looking biased in favor of his own race? Listen, I'm not saying that you have to be picking entirely of people that look like you. That's not what I'm getting at all. But don't come at Trump over doing the exact same thing of having few black people there. I mean, you can't, it doesn't go both ways. No, it doesn't. You can't exclude something for one person and then give the other one a pass. You should go down on Obama even harder. He was your first black president, right? He was the one who was going to save everybody, right, from the racist, oppressive government, right? Right? It just behooves me. And, I know I keep saying that word, but there's a certain level of discomfort I have in seeing the hypocrisy. Just as with Trump getting this whole, his marital infidelities, that's a cheating man. Okay, well, the two top Democrat candidates for governor right now are Newsom and Villaraigosa. Both cheated. Both Villaraigosa was involved in an affair with one of his campaign workers' wives, and Villaraigosa. Well, I take it back. Newsom was one with the campaign manager's wife or the campaign worker's wife, and then Villaraigosa had an affair on his wife. So I don't want to hear it. And if Schwarzenegger were still running, we'd have a third one. But again, this only applies to Trump because in liberal California, you can get away with, allowing that type of double standard to exist. Thank you for listening and have a good day.